I have to look at reality in the face because it's not healthy to be mad at things that you have no control over. And I'm going to go back to meaningful games in December, by which the December-mometer has been updated, by the way. But I'm going to tell you that is what everything is all about on whether or not and how this coach will last. And let me actually pull up the December-mometer for everybody to show you where it is after this last week. Put that on the screen for you. Yeah, we're almost a tank. We're just on the edge there. It's what it is. We've talked about when he's going to be fired. He may make it to the end of the year. We'll see. But I think, as we talked about, how he gets to that, it's 7-9 isn't going to work. 8-8, maybe. What if we win the last 8 games of the season and we beat the Packers and we beat the Titans and we beat the Buccaneers? Like if we were just suddenly went on a massive 8-game roll at the end, right? I think there's a little more confidence in this team that they could do it if they had the time of a preseason to get everything put together and the OTAs and that, right? That's kind of what the story tells. Do they survive? I don't know. I don't know if they do. A lot of people would be uptight and frustrated. I don't know. I will tell you though. Here's the reason you don't do what the Houston fellas did. Okay, because they got Romeo Crennel for the rest of the year, so they do have a former head coach who's not, superstar by any stretch, right? But he's the guy. They have him coaching the team for the rest of the season, and they have somebody in place. Who is that wacky ass organization going to recruit? They knew who they had in Bill O'Brien before they lost 4 games. They knew who they had when he was going to trade away DeAndre Hopkins. Like who does that? Who allows that to happen? They knew what kind of a knucklehead he was, and instead of firing him at a time when they could have brought somebody in before the season, 4 games in, they're firing this guy. Now, I want to tell you, at the end of this season, there's going to be openings for anywhere from 4 to 6 coaches. Okay? And if you're the Detroit Lions, right? So I'm just going to make this up. We'll use today's stuff because Eric Bieniemy is kind of a hot name right now. Let's just say he's the hot commodity coach that everybody really wants this year. And you're the Detroit Lions. Or you're the Houston Texans. Do you think the Houston Texans have any shot in hell of getting Bieniemy with the way that organization is?
The only leg up they have is Deshaun Watson being such a young guy.
Right, but you're a coach. If he doesn't perform and the rest of your roster doesn't perform, and you don't know who the GM is yet, so we got to kind of throw that out.
Yeah.
But if you look how stupidly that organization has acted, you can't trust them.
You're not wrong,
right?
At all.
Right. So what? Let's look at a different team. What if you're Detroit Lions? What do you want to do if you're going to hire a new coach next year? Byron Leftwich is another good one, right? For sure, Jane. But if you want to get Byron or you want to get Bieniemy next year, do you want to look like a dysfunctional mess of an organization, or do you want to look like you're going to have an opportunity to give your coach what you told your coach you're going to give them, what you told the public they were giving the coach? Meaningful games in December, right? This is all on the public. This is all done out in the public. If you don't give that to them, you look a little wacky as an owner, and you're a brand new owner with Sheila here. Nobody knows what to expect. If you don't have a steady hand and you look like you're a little off kilter, and you don't make, what does Detroit have? Do they have the best tax place? No. I think maybe somebody in Miami or Texas, Houston, is going to have a leg up to getting a coach, right? Just on the no income tax thing. There's a whole lot more money available that way, right? Because what's Michigan now? 7%, 8% state income tax to 0? That's a big chunk of change when you talk about millions of dollars. Oh, what about the weather? Does Michigan have the weather? Oh no, they're not beating in a lot of the warm weather states, so they're not going to beat them there. Well, what are you getting down to? Well, what's the organization like? Right? What good is your organization, and how much of the freedom that they need to perform, and how much of a leash will they be given to do their job? And if you can't promise that to the coach, you're not going to get one of the best coaches out there. And if you don't get one of the best coaches out there, you might as well keep Patricia, because you're not going to get any kind of you'll have a different mix and different set of excuses and different attitude in the interview room, but it's going to be no different in the performance on the field. So I'm telling you guys, the whole idea of fire Patricia, I think it's going to happen. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Yeah. But the when right now is more important than any other part of it, and the how. It's super crucial.
Let me respond to one of the comments in the YouTube. Ryan Zarzecki. not that everyone doesn't know that the Lions organization is dysfunctional compared to the norm. It's whether or not they're dysfunctional compared to the other teams that are in need of a head coach. And a lot of those other teams that are going to be in need of a head coach are even worse than the Lions.
Yeah. And
even more dysfunctional than the Lions.
And you just want to be the employer of choice. Okay.
Right.
That's the phrase from HR from 10 years ago. You want employers to choose to come work for you. If you want to get the best, if you want to get the very, very best, you want to be looking like you will give that person the very, very best shot to do their best job and succeed. Because I'll tell you what, any leader, coach in the NFL would absolutely love to have their name ingrained in the annals of history to take the Detroit Lions to their very first Super Bowl win. That is the kind of stuff, that the narcissism that is in a coach's kind of makeup, that feeds that. They would absolutely love that. But the situation has to be right. And so you have that actually going for them, and as a way to bring them in. So look, I've talked about it, and I'll hit it one more time. Yes, 99.9% sure the coach is going to go. I think everybody knows. I think the coach knows. It's just about how and when this is done. And when it happens, it'll happen appropriately, and it'll be happening in a way that we don't screw ourselves next year. Does Bob Quinn survive? We'll know after this.